call it a house of horrors. Now live at 5, two Georgia men will spend the rest of their lives in prison after being convicted of adopting two young boys, then sexually abusing them. The two men from Walton County were just sentenced to 100 years without parole. The district attorney's office spoke on the horrific nature of the crimes, writing, quote, "Those involved with the investigation and prosecution of this case will never forget what they had to see and hear in the case."
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to a brand new video in the new year. And unfortunately, I had to give you guys some pretty not so great news in the beginning of the year. Now, I'm not sure if you heard of this story, but if not, I'm going to give you a synopsis of what's going on. It's horrible. So at the ending of the year, it came out that a couple, two men, were sentenced to 100 years each for child abuse. Now, they adopted children into their home and then proceeded to commit horrendous, disgusting sexual acts on these children. Now, I did report on this story about a year and a half ago when I first heard about it back on TikTok, and the video went viral. It got over 2 million views. But of course, TikTok has since banned my main account because they hate free speech. So I figured let me just give you guys a refresher here on YouTube of what's been going on, as well as watch a video going really more in depth to the sentencing and what these disgusting human beings did to these children. But before we watch the video, let me give you guys a quick synopsis of this story. And I do have my iPad here with my notes. So let's just read this really quickly. This is from Yahoo News. And it says, a judge in Georgia has sentenced a male couple to 100 years each in prison without parole, thank God, for sexually abusing the children they had adopted. William and Zachary Zulak of Walton County, about 30 miles east of Atlanta, were arrested in 2022 after the Walton County Sheriff's Office received a tip that another man was receiving pictures and videos from the couple that depicted child abuse. This pisses me off. The Zulaks had adopted two young boys after a few years earlier. When interviewed by investigators, they both admitted to sexually abusing both boys over a period of time. Oh my God. Castrate them. In August of this year, William Zulak pleaded guilty to 6 counts of aggravated sodomy, 3 counts of aggravated child molestation, this is hard to read, 2 counts of incest, and 2 counts of sexual exploitation of children. My blood is literally boiling, guys. It's boiling. In October, Zachary Zulak pleaded guilty to 2 counts of aggravated sodomy, 3 counts of aggravated child molestation, 2 counts of sodomy, 3 counts of sexual exploitation of children, and 2 counts of pandering for a person under 18. He pleaded not guilty, of course he did, to 2 counts of incest, but Judge Jeffrey L. Foster found him guilty of those charges after a bench trial. Thank you, Judge. Foster sentenced both men December 19th after hearing arguments from both the state and the defense. The court essentially followed the state's sentencing recommendation for both defendants, 100 years in prison followed by life on probation. The press release says, because of the nature of the offenses, the defendants would not be eligible for parole for the entire 100 years. The sentence imposed not only appropriately punishes these defendants for their repeated selfish actions, but also sends the message to the public that such actions will never be taken lightly. Here's the thing that is like the cherry on top when it comes to these two disgusting monsters. Ready for this? These guys were activists in the LGBTQ community. They were activists. They were people who were involved in the no hate campaigns. And this is what they were doing behind the scenes of their movement, abusing their adopted children. There is a special place in hell, for people like this. I have no sympathy. And I think life in prison is too kind. But I can't say what I would want for them because then I would get banned on YouTube if I said that. So you guys can draw your own conclusions, right? So you can. You know what's crazy about this too, and I was just thinking about this? Why haven't we heard about this on mainstream news media? I haven't seen anyone blow up about this at all on left-wing news media sites or left news media organizations on TV. No one's really talking about it except for conservatives and right-wing media. That's it. Everyone else is like blinking and then it passes, the story passes because can't talk about that. But let these men be two conservative MAGA supporters who did this. And I guarantee you CNN will still be running the story right now as I make this video. I mean, it's freaking crazy. But again, it's just, it goes to show that the false outrage that we see so many times from the left is just that, false outrage. Because if you're truly upset, if you're truly righteous about a specific topic, it shouldn't matter who the subjects are, you're gonna talk about it, expose it. Waiting. Nothing. Not shocking. So now we're gonna watch a video, a true crime video that is talking more in detail about what these two disgusting human beings did, what they did to their children. It's the kind of stuff you hear about and your mind just can't comprehend. It's like, no, this can't be real. Let's watch some of this video, and I will have a link in my description to the full video of this story. But I wanted to give you guys just a glimpse of why I'm so outraged. Roll it.
Georgia couple is sentenced to 100 years behind bars after adopting two young boys to repeatedly rape. The dads even installed cameras throughout their family home to capture this ongoing sexual abuse. If that wasn't enough though, they posted the images and videos online so other predators could view these horrifying crimes. We cover a lot of really intense topics here on Law and Crime, and this one is truly one of the more messed up stories I've ever looked at. I mean, we're talking about two young children who are the victims in this story, which unto itself is heartbreaking. But it's an added layer of depravity when we consider that the bad guys in this story are actually the boys' parents. A family's home is supposed to be safe. It's supposed to be a place where the kids can trust their parents and feel at home, but instead, first responders call this a house of horrors. That's a direct quote. Take this as your trigger warning because right now we're going to dive into those details. The parents in this case are 34-year-old William and 36-year-old Zachary Zulock. They're a married couple out of Walton County, Georgia, which is just east of Atlanta. We're not revealing their sons' names to keep the boys' privacy, but we can tell you that right now their ages 10 and 12, and they were adopted by the Zulocks through a Christian special needs agency. Outwardly, the Zulock family seemed to have it all. William worked for the government and Zachary had a job in banking. Their home was upscale too in a nice neighborhood of Loganville, Georgia. They posted pics online that were smiling, happy, basically looking like they were the picture perfect family. They even have a photo wearing shirts that say, "Love my family," with the rainbow flag in support of Pride. But behind this facade, there was something much more sinister. Now, the investigation dates back to July 2022, when the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Exploitation and Computer Crimes Unit got a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. According to this tip, child sex material was traced to an IP address in Walton County, Georgia. That's the same area where the Zulock family lived. But the person behind this address, it was actually a man named Hunter Lawless, who was caught downloading homemade child porn onto his computer. Lawless fessed up right away though. He admitted to the crime, but he told investigators it wasn't him who created these images. Instead, he said the person behind this child porn sex ring was a man named Zachary Zulock, and he said Zachary had sent him these images and videos, and in the past offered his sons up to Hunter Lawless. Just a quick note here, Hunter Lawless pleaded guilty to sexual exploitation of children and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. His arrest also led to the arrest of Luis Vicaro Sanchez, who was eventually charged and sentenced to 60 years in prison. Meanwhile, the investigation pointed back to the Zulock family. Inside their home, investigators collected 7 terabytes of child sex material. Let that number sink in. A terabyte holds 1,000 gigabytes. That's anywhere between 200,000 and 500,000 pictures. Or if it's video, it's 500 hours. That means these dads had more than 3,000 hours worth of child pornography recordings of their own sons. And if you want to quantify that in photos, we're talking upwards of 3.5 million pictures of 2 young boys, now ages 10 and 12.
7 terabytes. 7 freaking terabytes of storage of God knows how many videos and pictures of these kids that these disgusting human beings sent to other people to exploit their children and to advertise their children for pedophilia. I mean, it's just, wow. No words. They're gonna have a fun time in prison. Because one thing I do know is that in prison, the lowest of the low are child molesters. Those people need to be put in a cage somewhere and locked away, because if not, they'll be killed and 2.5 seconds by the other inmates if they find out what they did. So good luck in your 100 years. Good luck. My heart just goes out to these two little boys because God only knows the trauma that they went through, how this will affect them for the rest of their lives, what they were exposed to, not only by their disgusting parents, but also by the people whom they pimp their children out to. This is like a huge domino effect of other sources and people. It's just disgusting. It's so incredibly disgusting and dehumanizing, and I just can't even put into words how this makes my stomach churn. Now, I was happy to see that they went to prison for 100 years, but it doesn't change the fact of what they did. It won't help the boys who were affected by this, because at the end of the day, they still will have the memories of what their trusted parents did to them. Like I said, I'll have a link in my description to the full video of that clip that I just showed of Law and Crime, discussing in detail these horrible human beings. So if you guys want to watch that, please go support that channel and watch the full video. Yeah. 2025, out to a great start. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video. Have you heard of this story? And what are your thoughts on their sentencing? Was it not harsh enough? Because in my opinion, castration and death penalty, please. Yes, I said it. Let me know down below. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time.